It is a freezing cold night in Markham, Ontario. November 8, 2010. The neighborhood is quiet. It is an affluent area, big houses, expensive cars, families who have worked their entire lives to achieve the immigrant dream. At 10:29 p.m., the silence is shattered by a frantic 911 call. The dispatcher picks up. On the line is a young woman. Her voice is hysterical. She is screaming. She is gasping for air. "Help me, please! Someone broke in. They shot my parents." She tells the dispatcher that 3 men with guns burst into the house. They demanded money. They tied her up. They dragged her parents, Han and Big Pan, into the basement. Then she heard the gunshots. Pop, pop, pop. "I'm tied up upstairs," she screams. I managed to get my hands free just enough to dial. "Please hurry." The police rush to the scene. It looks like a nightmare. A violent home invasion in a safe neighborhood. They find the mother, Big Pan, in the basement. She has been shot 3 times at close range. She is dead. They find the father, Han Pan, lying next to her. He has been shot in the face and the shoulder. There is blood everywhere. It looks like an execution. And upstairs, they find the daughter, 24-year-old Jennifer Pan. She is tied to the banister of the staircase with a shoelace. She is sobbing. She looks traumatized. It seems like a tragedy. A random act of violence, a robbery gone wrong. The community is terrified. Who are these gunmen? Are they targeting rich families? But then a miracle happens. A miracle that the killers didn't plan for. A miracle that the daughter certainly didn't plan for. The father, Han Pan, opens his eyes. The bullet entered his face, shattered his cheekbone, but missed his brain. He is in a coma for 3 days, but then he wakes up. And the first thing he does isn't to ask for water. It isn't to ask about his wife. He motions for the police. He can't speak well, but his memory is razor sharp. He tells the detectives a detail that changes everything. He says, asterisk, "I saw my daughter. She wasn't tied up. She was walking around the house with the gunman. She was talking to them like she knew them." In that split second, the grieving victim transformed into the prime suspect. The police realized that the girl tied to the banister wasn't a survivor. She was the director. She hadn't just called 911. She had performed a scene she had been rehearsing for months. This is the chilling, tragic, and unbelievable story of Jennifer Pan, the girl who spun a web of lies so massive, so complex, and so heavy that when it finally collapsed, she decided it was easier to murder her parents than to show them her real report card. If you are fascinated by the psychology of the golden child and the dark side of high expectations, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. This story is going to make you question how well you really know the people in your own home. Part 1. The Golden Child. To understand why a daughter would hire hitmen to kill the people who gave her life, we have to go back to the beginning. Han and Big Pan were refugees from Vietnam. They came to Canada with nothing. They worked in factories. They saved every penny. They built a life of luxury. They bought a big house with a 2-car garage. They drove a Mercedes. They wanted their children, Jennifer and Felix, to have the life they never had. But with that love came pressure. Crushing, suffocating pressure. Jennifer Pan was the golden child. From the age of 4, she was put into piano lessons. Then figure skating. Then martial arts. She was expected to be an Olympic skater. She was expected to be a concert pianist. She was expected to be a straight-A student. Her parents checked her homework every night. They monitored her friends. They didn't allow her to go to parties. They didn't allow her to date boys. For a while, Jennifer kept up. She was good, but she wasn't perfect. In grade 8, the cracks started to show. She wasn't the best in the class anymore. Her grades slipped from A's to B's. To most parents, AB is fine. To Han and Big Pan, AB was a failure. It was a dishonor, so Jennifer made a choice. A choice that would define the next decade of her life. She didn't study harder. She didn't ask for help. She bought a razor blade, some glue, and a photocopier. She took her report card. She sliced off the old grades. She glued on new ones. She photocopied it. And she handed her parents a straight-A report card. Her parents smiled. They were proud. Jennifer felt a rush of relief. The problem was solved. But lies are like a credit card. You can enjoy the purchase now, but eventually you have to pay the debt with interest. Part 2. The 4-year fake degree. The lie grew. It became a monster. In high school, Jennifer failed calculus. This meant she couldn't graduate. It meant she couldn't get into university. But her father, Han, was already bragging to his friends. My daughter is going to Ryerson University. She is going to be a pharmacist. Jennifer couldn't bear to tell him the truth. So she faked her acceptance letter. Every morning for 4 years, Jennifer Pan packed her backpack. She made a lunch. She waved goodbye to her parents. Bye Mom, bye Dad, heading to class. She would get on the bus. She would go to the public library. She would go to coffee shops. She would sit there for 8 hours, pretending to study pharmacology. She even bought used textbooks. She filled notebooks with notes from classes she wasn't taking. When it came time to pay tuition, she forged documents saying she had a scholarship. She worked odd jobs teaching piano, working at a restaurant to have some pocket money. And in the middle of this double life, she found an escape. A boy named Daniel Wong. Daniel was everything her parents hated. He was a drug dealer. He was a bad boy. He was an academic. But he accepted Jennifer for who she was. The real Jennifer, the one who wasn't a genius. They fell in love, but it was a secret love. Romeo and Juliet in the suburbs of Toronto. Part 3. The truth comes out. After 4 years of university, it was graduation time. Jennifer told her parents, "Oh, the graduation ceremony has limited tickets. I gave mine to a friend." "You can't come." This was a bridge too far. Hampan was suspicious. He called her friend. The friend said, "What? I didn't get a ticket." Hampan started digging. He drove her to work one day. She claimed she was volunteering at a hospital lab. He watched her go in. Then he went in. He asked the receptionist, "Does Jennifer Pan work here?" The receptionist said, "No." The house of cards collapsed. Han and Bick confronted her. Jennifer admitted everything. She admitted she didn't graduate university. She admitted she didn't even graduate high school. She admitted she was living a lie. The reaction was nuclear. Hampan was furious. He felt betrayed. He felt humiliated. He imposed a lockdown. He took her phone. He took her laptop. He forbade her from seeing Daniel Wong. He tracked the odometer on her car. She was 24 years old, living like a prisoner in her own home. Most people would just move out. "I'm an adult. I'm leaving." But Jennifer couldn't leave. She had no money. She had no degree. She had no skills. And deeper than that, ... She felt entitled. She felt that she deserved the money. She deserved the inheritance. She deserved the house. She looked at her parents not as providers, but as wardens. And then Daniel Wong gave her an ultimatum. He was tired of the drama. He started seeing another girl. He told Jennifer, "If you want to be with me, you need to fix your situation. I can't be with a girl who is locked in her room." Jennifer realized there was only one way to have the money, the house, and the boyfriend all at once. Her parents had to die. Part 4. The plot. Jennifer and Daniel started planning. It wasn't a crime of passion. It was a business transaction. They needed a crew. Daniel introduced Jennifer to a man named Lemford Crawford, a guy known as Homeboy. They agreed on a price. $10,000 to kill both parents. They planned it meticulously. It had to look like a home invasion. A robbery gone wrong, Jennifer would be the victim. She would play the role of the terrified daughter. She would leave the front door unlocked. She would signal them when to come in. On November 8, 2010, Jennifer was in her room. She turned the lights on and off the signal. 3 men walked in through the unlocked front door. Jennifer walked out of her room. She played the victim. One of the gunmen tied her hands to the banister with a shoelace. Wait. Why a shoelace? Why would armed robbers bring a shoelace? Or did Jennifer provide it? And why tie her hands in front of her, loosely, instead of behind her back? It was part of the script. They took the parents downstairs. They put blankets over their heads. And they pulled the trigger. Part 5. The Interrogation Masterclass. After the miracle of Hampan waking up from his coma, the police knew. But they needed a confession. They brought Jennifer into the interrogation room. The detective in charge was Bill Getz. And what he did in that room is studied by psychology students today. He didn't scream at her. He didn't call her a liar immediately. He befriended her. He knew that Jennifer viewed herself as a victim of tiger parenting. He knew she felt misunderstood. So Detective Getz played into that. He said things like, "Jennifer, I know you loved your parents, but I also know they were hard on you. Jennifer, I think things just got out of control. I don't think you wanted them dead. I think maybe you just wanted a change. He gave her a way out. He gave her an excuse. And Jennifer took the bait. She started to spin a new lie. A lie so ridiculous it showed just how desperate she was. She told the detective, "Okay, you're right. I did hire the men, but I didn't hire them to kill my parents. I hired them to kill me." She claimed it was a suicide by hitman. She said she was so depressed that she paid the men to come into the house and shoot her. "But," she said, "they must have gotten confused. They shot my parents instead." Detective Getz looked at her. "Jennifer," he said gently, "that doesn't make any sense. Why would they tie you up if they were supposed to shoot you? Why would they kill your parents if the contract was for you? And why," he paused, "did your father see you talking to them?" Jennifer froze. The suicide by hitman story fell apart instantly. She had confessed to hiring the men. She had placed herself at the center of the conspiracy. She was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder. Part 6. The father's testimony. The trial in 2014 was heartbreaking. Hempan took the stand. The man was broken. He had lost his wife. He had lost the use of one of his eyes. He lived in constant physical pain. But the emotional pain was worse. He had to sit in a courtroom and point at his daughter, his golden child, and identify her as the person who ordered his execution. He testified about the night. He testified about seeing her walking freely with the gunman. He testified about the years of lies. He said, "I loved my daughter. I gave her everything. I don't understand." When the verdict was read, Hanpan didn't cheer. He didn't smile. He just put his head down and wept. Part 7. The verdict and the aftermath. Jennifer Pan was found guilty of first-degree murder and attempted murder. She was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. Daniel Wong and the 3 hitmen were also found guilty and given life sentences. But the story ends on a chilling note. After the trial, the judge issued a no-contact order. It forbade Jennifer from ever contacting her father or her brother again. Hampan requested it. He wanted to erase her from his life. He told the court, "I have lost my wife. I have lost my daughter. I have no family left." Jennifer Pan sits in prison today. She maintains her innocence, sort of. She still tries to appeal. But the most terrifying thing is that she got exactly what she wanted. She wanted freedom from her parents. She got it. She will never see them again. She wanted to be famous. She got it. Her story is known worldwide. But she paid for it with her soul. Part 8. Why this story haunts us. The Jennifer Pan case hits a nerve because it explores the dark side of success. We all want our kids to do well. We all want to be proud of them. But at what point does encouragement become pressure? At what point does a child decide that their parents' love is conditional on their grades? Jennifer Pan was a monster, yes. But she was a monster created in a pressure cooker. She was a girl who learned that lying was the only way to be loved. And when the lies ran out, she chose violence. It serves as a grim warning to every parent and every child. A report card is just a piece of paper. It is not worth a life. Failure is an option. Murder is not. What do you think? Was Jennifer Pan a psychopath born bad, or was she a product of her environment? And do you believe the suicide by hitman story for even a second? Let me know in the comments below. If you appreciate these deep dives into the psychology of crime, please destroy that like button. And make sure to subscribe. I have a story coming next, about a man who killed his wife because she laughed at his singing. It's bizarre, it's tragic, and it's true. Stay safe, hug your parents, and tell the truth even if you fail.